Okay. And just give us a sign that you hear everything. You should see the presentation right now and my voice, and you should hear my voice. Just give us a sign in chat. Okay, Simon says yeah, everything is fine. So, okay, so hello to our next webinar, Open Virtualization Portal. Today my guest is Jacek Skorzynski from the Red Hat. A pleasure to have you here, my friend. Nice. You have two cameras, but we are sitting, beside each other. So we have few things for you today. We'll plan to get everything in 30 minutes. So first we have a presentation. So it should be 15-20 minutes of presentation. So Jacek will go through all of the details, how to getting started and admin task automation with Ansible on Red Hat and other environments.
Yep.
Jacek, I do believe that you are the best person to do this stuff. It's our first webinar, but not the last. Today's goal is to just go through some basics. Exactly. And why Ansible is crucial for every Red Hat or every admin these days.
Yep.
Exactly. But first, let's start about a few words about yourself, my friend.
Okay. So hello everyone. My name is Jacek Skorzynski, and I'm a solution architect at Red Hat. My main topic of interest is Ansible, as you maybe know or you will know soon. Of course, also I do a lot of Red Hat virtualization and oVirt stuff. But my basics or my ground where I live at Red Hat is infrastructure. Okay. So everything which is around, of course, starting from the operating system and up to the cloud, to the private cloud, is my responsibility. Yes, okay. But focus on automation, which is Ansible, of course. Focus on management, various different tools we've got, like satellite cloud forms and so on, and of course Red Hat virtualization.
Okay, you're using the bike when you're going to work, or
not yet.
Not yet. Okay, because you said volleyball and the bike's adventures. Any places that you already used a lot?
Biking, yeah, for sure. So my wife's neighborhood, let's say hometown, so which is a little village where we can ride pretty easily without too much traffic, which is great. For sure, I'm a volleyball player and fan. Yeah, so I'm right now I'm more fan than player, but. Still need to improve.
For all of you, Jacek is definitely taller than myself, so I'm not a volleyball player. So let's talk a few words about myself.
Okay.
I'm Paweł Mączka. I'm one of the co-founders of the Storware company, and the open virtualization portal and the community is really important for myself and also for the company. We're doing data protection stuff for the oVirt Red Hat virtualization, but it's not the major topic for today. When I'm not working, I'm getting used to with my two kids, and I do love playing the guitar. So you need to look for the Bare Machine project that we already started with my marketing team, but not today. I'm just giving you the hint that the project just has started. You will see the few songs hopefully in the next few months. Okay, but it's not only about us. It's not only about us today. Let's start. Why, my friend, Ansible?
Why Ansible? Yeah, so we should think about is why we should actually think about automation in the virtualization world. Yes, so this is something you can ask yourself. Yes, why we should care about this? We've got plenty of different manual things to do. We've got lots of clicking, lots of scripts, lots of high-level procedures which we should follow. Yes, so there is a lot of things we can actually outsource to our automation engine, which is Ansible. Yeah.
So if I'm a typical IT guy, administrator of the virtualization, should I go and say it's getting boring, I should automate it? So what's the major reason why I should use the automation?
So the first one, which we see around the corner, is I can have more time, more free time, yes, or more time for my maybe higher level things or more interesting things, rather just clicking a new VM, starting doing some repetitive tasks, yes, which are probably cool, but sometimes they are boring.
Okay, so the major goal is to giving you more time for the basic operations.
Yes, yes, exactly. Start small and grow. Yes, not try to do everything in one. Like you know already Ansible and try to automate everything. No, don't go this way.
You're saying here simple. It's do I need to know any programming languages?
No. That's why Ansible is so so popular. Yes, because you don't need to be a programmer at the very beginning. Yes, you don't need to be at all a programmer to start working with Ansible, because everything what we do in YAML. You've got a set of set of ready to use modules in Ansible which are able to do the meat, yes, which are able to do the right things.
Okay, so for you saying powerful and agentless. So I don't need to install Ansible anywhere in my environment, or
it means that you don't need to install any agent proxy or any other stuff on your environment. If it is just a Linux box, meaning like operating system, or our today topic, Red Hat virtualization or oVirt, you don't need to tweak it or do some configuration to make it work. Yes, it's out of the box.
Okay, so simple, powerful, and agentless.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's go for the next slide.
Okay, so let's highlight a little bit what we actually need to start working with Ansible engine. Yes, because this is our goal, to show you how to start, how to do the first step. So for sure there is a room for user. Yeah, it's not like that everything will be done but automatically. Yeah, there is a need for user who will at some point start the automation, control it, contribute, tweak it, do some various changes. There is a need for a playbook. So today I will show you how to produce your own playbook. Very simple, with just one module, which will do actually pretty nice job. You every day probably do creating new VMs. There is a need for your inventory. Yes, so you need your inventory to point your Ansible to the right direction. Yes? If you would like to start on Red Hat virtualization, it's pretty slightly different. But normally you need to point your Ansible into like a set of Linux boxes or set of Windows boxes if you deal with such a things. Yes. So this is something which you need at the very beginning, yes, and then the engine itself, which is just an Ansible, yes. In Linux world, it's just a YAML install Ansible, and that's it. You've got everything pre-packed inside what you need, yes. So the set of plugins, inventory plugins, set of modules, they are already there inside, ready to use.
What's your favorite usage in the oVirt virtualization? So
most of the time, what I do, I create my VMs using Ansible. And so this is something that I do mostly every day. When I need to prepare like a demo or like a workshop, I use
Ansible. You're not clicking, you just automate build the playbook.
I don't do it. Okay, let's go. And then with engine, you've got a lot of variety of choices. Yes. Today we're gonna concentrate on platform, which is like slightly a little bit closer to cloud, to public private cloud, but in this case it's gonna be a virtual world. Yes, Red Hat virtualization and oVirt. Okay, let's carry on. So what is the main difference between operating system and platform like oVirt? So here on this slide you can see the difference. So normally when you start working with Ansible with a bunch of Linux boxes, you will use OpenSSH or WinRM. And then your Ansible.
So execute all of the commands you use in SSH.
Yeah, exactly. In the Windows world, you will use WinRF, for example. Yes, so there are a bunch of different plugins which will allow you to communicate. So will allows our control node, which is Ansible engine, to communicate natively with our Linux, Windows, or whatever box. Yes. But with a platform like a Red Hat Virtualization or oVirt, normally what we use API, native API. Okay. So that's why we need some package to be installed previously on the Ansible engine node, on the control node, to be able to run our Ansible playbook on oVirt. And that's all actually what we need.
All we need is we have a 3-node cluster. We just need the 3 packages of the Ansible.
Actually no, actually even one. Yeah, it can be, because right now with Rev and oVirt you already have Ansible on the manager. So you even don't need to install it anymore on the separate machine. Yes. Normally, what I will present to you today, I will use separate machine for that. So this is just a typical Linux box and Ansible. Here, for those of you who are new to Red Hat Virtualization of it, here is the slide which will describe you what it's all about in this infrastructure, on this project. So what you should know, we rely on Linux. Yes, we rely on KVM. So every single hypervisor is a Linux box with KVM. Of course, with Red Hat Virtualization, it's RHEL underneath. With oVirt, it can be CentOS and so on. Yes, so this is the basic. Then we've got an upper layer, which is Red Hat Virtualization Manager itself. Yes, which can be can manage all of our aspects of our virtual world. Yes. And here we need some, of course, except web user interface and admin portal. We need one more thing to be able to start working with Ansible, which is Python SDK, yes, which is crucial to maintain the connection between.
It's not out of the box. We need to install it. Yes.
Yes, we need. It depends actually. It depends actually, because if you're gonna use your Ansible engine, which is already on the manager, you don't need to do anything because you have everything in place. If there is a need to start your Ansible engine, or to install basically your Ansible engine on the separate box, just a Linux box somewhere in your environment, even hosted on your Red Hat Virtualization, you need to install Python SDK for it. So I will show you how to do it on Red Hat Enterprise Linux, and I will tell you, also guide you how to do it on the other distributions. Hey, so Ansible and Red Hat Virtualization. As I said, it's a great tool. As I said, we've got all of the things we need for the first start prepackaged. Yes. So as you can see on this slide, we started actually from version 2.2. There were first Ansible modules for oVirt. Which is also the, as you can see here, equivalent for Red Hat Virtualization. Then with 2.3, we've got the full set of modules for oVirt Red Hat Virtualization inside our Ansible engine.
So if after you install, you have all of the playbooks, all of the modules inside the Ansible.
Yeah, so you don't need to think about where I should go to grab them. You already have that.
Because the first question on the slide, what I should Google to get it.
Nowhere.
Nowhere. It's just prepackaged.
You already have it. Yes, if you use this Ansible engine pre-installed with Red Hat Virtualization Manager, you also have that inside. If you go with the external Ansible engine, you will also have that. Yes? So everything is in place. So just imagine one command, yum install Ansible, and you've got almost everything.
It's too easy. Let's see the live demo.
Okay, so a few examples what you can do with Ansible modules. There are a lot of them, but as you can see, we've got 3 of them here. oVirt VM. which is the module to maintain, to provision, to cancel, to delete, to change the configuration of your virtual machines. There is an oVirt storage domains, which allows you to automatically add your storage domain to your existing Red Hat virtualization or oVirt environment. There is also oVirt disk, which allows you to attach disk from external source into the machine which is already running in your environment. Okay. So those are just basic things, and see how simple it is.
Daily tasks, actually.
Yeah, daily tasks, and you don't need to be a programmer. There's just a couple of different parameters you need to know, and that's it. Actually,
if I understand it, it must be easy.
Okay. Everyone can benefit from it. Okay. So let's go into the demo part.
Okay.
So during the demo, I will show you on which particular things you need to pay your attention to start successfully. Yeah? Okay. So first of all is an Ansible engine version. So we need to be sure that this is the version minimum 2.3, let's say 2.2 or 2.3. Then the Python version, which is the minimum version for it, is 2.7. Normally we probably have some a little bit higher. And then the third thing is oVirt engine Python SDK. Yes? So actually our translator from the playbook into the API calls to our manager.
Okay, great.
That's
so it. Let's see
how
it works.
Yeah. Okay.
You promised 15 minutes, so everybody,
okay.
You know.
Okay. You count on me. Okay. So let me just show you that I already have. So this is what I already have. So this is my Ansible machine. Yes. Okay. The second thing what I've got here is my Red Hat virtualization environment. Yes. So I've got here some hosts, ref hosts. I've got a few machines, actually two. One is the manager self-host, and then the other is the machine we will use for the templating and so on. Yeah? So this is it. What we have in here. Most of the task I will start from this this window to show you how to work and how to prepare your first playbook. Yes. So let's get started. What we need for at the very beginning is to make sure that that we have a proper version of Ansible and proper version of Python.
So we have a little bit bigger font, I guess. It will be. That's one more time.
One more time.
Everybody will get the advantage of it. Okay, great.
Good. So let's check our Ansible. So for now, for today, I've got maybe not the newest one, but enough. Yeah. Okay. So it's 2.6.
Enough to play.
Enough to play. Yes. So we should have all of the modules for the oVirt environment, which we're gonna use today successfully. The next thing is the Python version. So the Python version 2.7 is with us. Yes.
Okay.
The third thing which we need to make sure is the Python SDK. So I already pre-installed it, but I will show you this the one here. So for those of you, it's a pretty large or pretty long name. This is the name of the package. Yes. For those of you who don't want to remember it, there is a YAM search, and let's put in the search Python oVirt, and it will search for all the available things. The one trick here is to make sure that we've got a version 4.
Okay, so SDK version 4.
Yeah, SDK version 4 is the mandatory, and for the Red Hat virtualization version 4.2, which we're gonna use today, we need to have 4.2 and some minor version for it. Yes. Okay. So this is the mandatory thing we need. But we already have that. Yes. So let's get started. Let's compose our first playbook. Yes? So I will I will create a directory, Red Hat virtualization Ansible, cd to it. Yeah, and here for now I already have prepared my Ansible playbook, so I'm not gonna create it from scratch just to save your time and demonstrate what we're gonna use. But what I explained previously, we need normally we need an inventory. Today we're not gonna create an inventory. Why? Because of the mechanics of Ansible work, how it works with the platform. As I said, everything is done on the control node. Yes? So my playbook will be started on the control node and then translated into the API calls. So everything will be done in here with a control node. So let me start with those few things. So I will demonstrate you our two modules which we're gonna use today. One is oVirt out, and the second one is oVirt VM. Yes. So as I described previously, oVirt VM, which is the one responsible for managing your VMs, yes, creating, deleting, doing various stuffs. Here you've got some prerequisites, so those which we already checked. Okay. Then there are a bunch of different parameters you need to be, you don't need to be aware of normally. And
that's why we have the documentation.
Yeah, that's why we have those documentation. Yeah, this documentation. So as you can see, there is a variety of choices. You can do, believe me, almost everything without touching.
I see even the parameter just delete the VMware from the existing environment. This is a nice one.
Yeah, because using this, you can also import your VMs automatically from the VMware into the Red Hat virtualization. From the standalone KVM, from Zen into the Red Hat virtualization using just one module, and that's it. One thing you need to pay attention to is the module which is or parameter actually which is required, and you can see this out here. Yeah, so this out is directly connected with oVirt out module. It's the one which you need to use every time you're gonna connect to your Red Hat virtualization, just to authenticate yourself. Yeah, that's it. So it will gives you an option to authenticate and then proceed with the rest of the modules you've got in your Ansible.
So it always must be the first one. Yeah, authentication.
Authentication, and then whatever you want. And for this whatever we want today, we're gonna use oVirt VM. Okay. So two different modules for now. So let me start from my little handout. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create two files. One file for the variables which are needed to authenticate. Yeah. So here we've got my Red Hat virtualization FQDN, which is pretty short for this demonstration, and Red Hat virtualization username, which is the default one. Yes. So I will create the file RHV vars. Vars, yes, or var. Vars, yeah, that's good. And then paste this. Yes, so we've got my FQDN and we've got my admin username, and that's what we need for now. Then, because it's not a good idea to store your password into the plain text files, yes, so we're gonna create one more file which will be encrypted using a vault. Yeah, using vault. So we will create one more with password here. Copy this variable, which is the name of this variable is Red Hat revm underscore password, and the password is password.
It's a very difficult one, so
yeah. Don't follow this. Yeah. And then just to make sure that no one, let's say, no one who has just by accidentally access to the password YAML file will see the password. Yes, okay. So we would like to encrypt it, okay. And for this, Ansible provides us a special mechanism, which is Ansible Vault, where we can just encrypt our password YAML. Yes, so I will do it and see. As you can see, we've got. You are not able to see.
It's a password. Still, it's a password. I see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So always remember about Ansible Vault.
Yeah.
So
as a safety mechanism.
Yeah. Only mandatory mechanism.
Yes.
To keep your password.
To keep your password. Okay. And this is of course the default. There are a variety of different choices, different plugins which you can allows you to interconnect and integrate with other password managers and so on. Yes.
My next question was what will be the next? What is the encryption mechanism? But it's already here.
Yeah.
IS256.
Yeah.
So
yes, it's there.
Let's go.
Okay. So now there is a time to compose my playbook. Okay? So I already have it prepared. So I will create just a file, which with the name RHV VM create YAML. Please pay attention to the YAML, how it is structured, that the indentations are there. Yes, so my advice for you, please be equipped with the proper text editor. Yes, okay. It's your choice, basically speaking, what you will do or what you will use for that. But it's a really crucial one.
Microsoft Word, of course.
It's the one. It's your choice. Okay. I use for this presentation VI, but normally when I compose my playbooks, I use Atom. I use also found a very useful one, which is right now, in my personal opinion, even the best one to create Ansible playbook. And here it comes.
So this is a little bit the hint.
It's going to be a hint, or maybe some news for you. It's a Microsoft Visual Studio Code.
Really?
Really, yes. They did a really outstanding job with a lot of different plugins. Okay. Not only, of course, for Ansible, but in Ansible world, you will benefit from.
So this is your best choice, yes, right now.
It's my recommendation. Okay. I will recommend it. Still using Atom, but plan to migrate. Okay. Yes. So what I've got, empty file, and right now I will copy my previously prepared Ansible playbook.
So if you just could, go with it and just, explain, not whole, but the way how we should structure the playbook.
Okay. So we've got like two main sections. This one, maybe excluding variables. Yes, it's our hosts. So we are in here pointing to the right inventory. As I previously said, for oVirt, we don't need to care about it, because all we're gonna do on our local host, meaning our Ansible engine machine, and that's it. Yes, that's why it is local host here. That's why we put a local connection to make sure that we will start our Ansible playbook locally and nowhere else.
I see already the files that you created. So AVH bars,
password,
and the pre-tasks.
Pre-tasks is connected with directly with oVirt out. So we need to make sure that every time we're gonna generate an authentication token. Okay. So that's the case. We can put it into the task section easily, and this will work. But this makes our structure of the playbook more clear and more visible. Let's put it this way. Then we've got just regular vars regarding our data center cluster, our template, VM, memory, and so on.
So the task will use this variables.
Yeah, of course. Then we've got our oVirt VMs task. So one module. Yes, one task which will actually do all of the tasks we need to do today. So we're going to create our VM. First of all, our module will authenticate using the token, authentication token generated previously into the Red Hat virtualization. Okay. Then we will use VM name we just mentioned here. Then
VM01.
Yes, then we're gonna use for it to create a template, which is here. Then we specify amount of memory this VM gonna have, which is 1 gig. Then we do some just a little bit comment that we will make sure that this is the right VM created by Ansible, so provisioned by Ansible. Make sure my VM is highly available. It's in the running state, so right after we create it, it will power up. Okay. And then wait, yes, means that our module actually will wait a little bit for the creation to finish. Yes, so it's not gonna jump right away to the next task and do some job, but first wait for the machine to be created to be
so running. If your playbook has more tasks, it's definitely
good idea to have this. Yeah. Okay, and then post task, which will just get rid of our token. Yes? So if we don't need it anymore, we will just make sure that it's not going to be used by anyone else who by accident have an access to it. And that's it. So here we've got our playbook. And what we can do and what we should do now is to start our playbook. Okay. So let me just explain. Ansible-playbook means that we would like to start our playbook, which is here. And here our Ansible will also ask us for the vault password to decrypt our vault file password YAML, just to have this up and running. So let me jump in
virtualization.
Yep.
So we'll see how the Ansible will do the work. Yes.
Yeah. So as for now, we've got 2 VMs, hosted engine and RHEL 7, and we expect to have one more up and running. So let's see if it's gonna be okay. So this is our Ansible. It's running. Right now we've got the creation task, as we got only one task, so it's gonna be pretty simple in the output section. We should see here soon that our
right
VM.
Now we should go and grab some coffee, but we cannot.
No, because it's really fast. we need to concentrate on the screen. As you can see.
Order the coffee. No worries.
Okay. So as you can see, we already have.
It's already done?
Yeah, it's almost done.
Gosh.
So it's like this.
Okay.
It's like a click. Yes. You are not able to do it faster than Ansible, I believe so. Using just a graphical user interface, which is, by the way, much better than the previous one. Yeah.
Next time we will do some competition. Yeah? Okay. I will do the click guy, and you will do the Ansible play.
Okay. So as you can see here, Ansible is still doing, meaning that you can see already the machine is already there, but it's not started yet properly. So Ansible will wait until it's started, and then until it gets back the information from the from our Red Hat virtualization, and then just say, okay, I'm finished.
I see all of the admins after this, webinar that everybody's come. Can you create my machine? Yes, I need just 2 days. So that they just quickly enter and going for some holidays.
Yeah. That's the point. So our machine is my environment is pretty slow because I set up everything on one machine on my laptop. But as you can see, already finished. My machine is up and running, and my playbook just finished successfully, which is great on the live demo. So that
it means it works. It works. This is what it said before on the presentation. It works. Okay.
It works.
So we use the authentication and we use the module of creating
VMs. Okay. And to be honest, probably you will start with this module because it gives you power of creator, yes, and it's easy to use and pretty simple, as you can see.
Okay. I think that's all. This is the getting started.
It has to be fast, yes. Because
so Team Jacek just explained how to use the Ansible in the oVirt and Red Hat virtualization platform. We know that we have some prerequisites that we need to carry on.
But don't be worried about it.
2 minutes, just 2 minutes. We know that we need to use the authentication to properly connect to our Red Hat virtualization host on oVirt. And you show the example, the module, how to create the machine. The good news is everything is actually prepackaged inside the Ansible. So this is the important message. Also, can you also show again the playbook? It looks that we don't need to know and be highly skilled in the programming to start the journey.
Not at all.
To orchestrate all of the things. One of my last webinars was with Wojciech Fulmakiewicz to showing the platforms, and I see the huge, and we also used some Ansible on it. But this is also a really good news for all of the customers, all of the users that they want to start the journey, how to orchestrate the oVirt environments before they will move to the CloudForms approach, to the high-level service approach.
So for the CloudForms, we also, as you mentioned, use Ansible for the automation tasks as one of the automation engine of choice. So you've got a choice in CloudForms. And then this is a really good news. Actually, every single product inside Red Hat has somehow some connections with Ansible. Most of them are already installed using Ansible. A lot of them already have a prepared modules, roles, playbooks, different content just to be used with Ansible and do the automation.
So as you've seen, we, after the 37 minutes, we just explained the basics. We just ran the first playbooks, and it looks that it's really nice and easy. So we do recommend all of you that watching this webinar to start playing with oVirt, Red Hat virtualization, and Ansible to get the job done and faster and easier. So thank you, Jacek.
Thank you
for your time. As I said, this is one of the first webinars regarding Ansible for the open virtualization platforms. So we do recommend all of the technical community to comment what we already done. If you will have any suggestion in which direction we should go in the next webinars, just let us know. Right now we'll do the QA session. I already seen the first question from Mitya Sovek. I'm sorry, Mitya, hopefully I pronounced it in a good way. Is it recommended to use admin at internal account or create something else? I'm asking because the permission on oVirt, Rev are pretty complicated. If creating a separate one is quite ... He didn't finish.
Okay. So of course I use admin at internal, which is the default, but it's of course not recommended to be used. Yes. So most of the time, what you're gonna do, you'll probably integrate your Red Hat Virtualization Manager with some IPA, free IPA, or Red Hat IDM, Identity Management, or Active Directory, or various different LDAPs and so on. Yes. So
for the demo purposes, the admin at internal
is brilliant, but in the production, you should dedicate the automation account for it. Yes, to make sure
the permission was the permission.
It really depends on what you're gonna do. Yes, so if your goal is just to create a VMs, just narrow the permission to just a VM creator, and that's it. Yes. If you would like to do all of the tasks which are possible to do with Ansible, basically speaking, all of the tasks you can click into the GUI, you can use admin, yes. But of course, if you would like to narrow a little bit and be sure that this particular user can only have an access to this particular, let's say, set of tasks, do it. Yes, don't.
Next question we have, Jacek, if you now run your playbook, it will probably create a new VM since the name of the VM on your oVirt Rev is not unique. Is the question that shall we, worry about, I think, some names or ID? So what if the playbook will have the same name? It will fail?
It will just say that this VM is already there and I will not do it again. So this is the essence of Ansible, the idempotency, meaning that you can reuse your Ansible playbook and you don't need to worry about that your Ansible playbook, which you run now, will ruin all of the work you did previously. Okay, so that's the idea.
Next question. You created VM from the playbook, from the template. Is there any specific reason you did not show the Ansible plus oVirt plus cloud init part? Just not part of the presentation, I guess.
Yep.
Would you recommend Ansible over satellite? Do not answer yet. Would you recommend Ansible over satellite spacewalk for VM provisioning and management?
Yeah, that's a really good idea. Because of the templating mechanism. Yeah, so normally what you do in the production, most of my customers, which I speak with or which I do some tasks with, use templating mechanisms. Yes, but then you need to update your templates. You need to at some point do just update of your OS, do some updates of your apps which are already there, and it makes your template heavy. It makes your template with the history behind. Yes, so having this opportunity to use let's say satellite to introduce the provisioning in the virtual environment, but the machine will be like a brand new every time, meaning it's not going to be you will not involve a templating mechanism, but you will just do kickstarting, and all the packages will be always up and running with the specific version or the newest version, which is, in my opinion, a very good idea to do. Of course, there are pros and cons. For some customers, it's gonna take too much time because the kickstart mechanism and template, when you compare to templating, it's a little bit slower. Yeah, so template will win in this competition for sure. But then you will get, of course, the brand new machine, which has no history behind, which is very good point.
Let's grab last question from Sain Bakhtir. Do you recommend the disable cloud init after the cloud init, or we should leave it like that? Had some problems after reboot the VMs related with the network configuration changing to DHCP.
So if you would like to just at the very beginning of your VM creation start your machine and then use your cloud init and then get rid of it, I mean just disable it, what you can do, you can use just run once command inside Red Hat virtualization, which will make sure that your cloud init will be started only once at the very beginning. Yes, if you face that the problems as you described, there is of course a good idea to just get rid of the cloud init if you don't plan to use it anymore. And you can use it easily with Ansible.
So use once or just disable it.
And you can use it. You can do it with Ansible pretty easily.
Okay, and can you rerun your playbook to show that this VM will not create it again?
Let's go.
I said after QA session, so it will be the last last thing. So if the media will, if you will stay, no worries, we'll show it.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time, Jacek. Again, it was a pleasure to have and started this Ansible, let's say, set of the webinars that we are planning. So like I said before, just give us a hints, any questions, any suggestions in which direction we should go on the next open virtualization portal, professional community and webinars. That's all, folks, I guess.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Stay in touch. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dzień. Dźwięko? Znaczy dwie baterie prawie. people are saying thank you. So it was good. Thanks all of you. Puścisz jeszcze raz?
O, przestań przerować.
Jeszcze jesteś. As I said, Nitya.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Just skipped. Green, green, green. So means that it will not do. It will not try to create the VM once again. So this is what you can also do. You can also use this Ansible playbook to change parameters of your VM. Yeah, because it will just change what is need to be changed and not touch any other settings.
Super. So Ansible remembers names. Hey, Vita is still remember names. Yes.
Yeah, it remembers names, but you need to be aware that if you go with the let's say snapshotting module, yes. So for the snapshots, you don't use names, and oVirt or Red Hat virtualization will use UUIDs. Yes. So first of all, you need to go or just grab a facts about your snapshots, and based, of course, on comment of the snapshot, you can choose what you want. But then into the process of recreation machine from the snapshot, you need to use UUIDs. Yes, so that's the hint.
Super. So again, folks, thank you for your time. Stay tuned, and go on the Open Virtualization portal to read the blogs that we are preparing for you. Jacek also prepared this example of that.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, have a great day.
Bye.
Cheers.